Photography in focus, the French capital shining a spotlight on the art form with several events and art fairs on the calendar, from Paris Photo and World Press Photo to Foto Fever. Well, joining me on set today is Canadian photographer Kourtney Roy, whose latest project is on display at Paris Photo until the 11th of November. Kourtney, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you.
You're showcasing a series of photos called Go the Extra Mile at the Grand Palais here in Paris. It's part of the annual Carte Blanche artistic campaign for the French beverage company Pernod Ricard. You shot portraits of Pernod Ricard employees from around the world. You were given full artistic freedom. What was the vision that you wanted to bring to life?
Well, as you know, it was a carte blanche, so they were really like, what do you want to do? And I'd been dreaming of doing a series in Las Vegas for a while. So I kind of wanted to bring all these people to Las Vegas and to create a kind of cinematic road movie, obviously using photos, where they kind of become another person for the day, and they kind of enter my universe for the day and become somebody else. And that was basically the sort of general idea.
And how did you get the best out of people who obviously aren't professional models and therefore aren't used to having their photos taken?
No. I think actually when you see that, I mean, we had a great stylist, Catherine Hayward, who just brought in, amazing outfits, a lot of from just different, retro stuff to contemporary stuff as well, mix and matching. And I think once you put them in the outfits, and you've changed them a bit, you've got their hair, you got their makeup. It already helps you enter into the world already. So I think, once they were feeling that world, that we're in these sets that are incredible. We've got music on. I'm doing everything to make sure they're feeling good about it, and they're already invested in coming, right? They went for the casting, so they knew what they were getting into.
Right. As you said, you shot in Las Vegas. You were saying that you'd been dreaming about shooting in that location for a long time. What is it about Las Vegas then?
I mean, I've worked a lot in the United States already. I mean, I shoot a lot all over North America. And in the States, I quite like the desert, the light, the landscapes. It's something that really appeals to me. And Las Vegas for me was, it's just its reputation as this sort of crazy town. It became sort of a microcosm, perhaps, of the eccentricity sometimes of America. So I wanted to kind of go and explore this side of America that I'd never really explored yet.
Okay, well, you made a music video as well for the series of photos. We're going to take a look now.
Okay.
Well, your images are on show at this year's Paris Photo, the largest international art fair dedicated to photography. It's the 22nd edition, with more than 190 galleries and exhibitors from 30 countries taking part, offering visitors a chance to admire the work of both modern masters and emerging talents. So, Kourtney, what are you most looking forward to seeing at the fair? Is there something on your radar that you must absolutely
I usually let it all... I let myself be surprised each time. I do always look forward to looking at the Aperture Photo Prize, discovering new books. I quite like the art object of the book, so that's usually also a big pleasure for me as well.
Okay, so but mostly you just want it to sort of unfold organically? and go with the
Just
flow.
see what people are doing and kind of, explore. I'll be there the whole time, so I have lots of time. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, in other news, one of the French capital's major photographic institutions has had a massive makeover. The Henri Cartier-Bresson Foundation has also moved to a brand new space in the Marais neighbourhood, and it's celebrating with an exhibition dedicated to Martine Franck, the late French photographer's wife. Well, Cartier-Bresson is widely regarded as one of the most influential image makers of the 20th century. This report from Olivia Salazar-Winspear and Armel Coe.
He's known for capturing the decisive moment. Henri Cartier-Bresson is an icon of 20th century image making, and he was married to another talented photographer, the late Martine Franck. Her work striking for the naturalism of her portraits, achieved thanks to a thoroughly humanistic approach to photography and to life.
Sincerity, the honesty, and the elegance, which are for me three very important qualities in the woman. You can see them in the pictures.
An edited selection of Franck's work is on show for the inaugural exhibition at this new site.
Because of the empathy Martine Franck had with the models, she could get the person back to her inner silence and photograph a moment where the person is not posing anymore. She was interested in really finding at the proper moment to be open to what happens. And to be open to what happens, you have to be open in your mind.
As well as temporary shows, the foundation will also serve as a precious research facility, with thousands of contact prints and negatives kept in high-tech storage facilities, and a programme of educational events, talks and debates. The foundation's director says the idea is to attract a wider public to the site, to show more contemporary work, and to flag up previously unknown facets of Cartier-Bresson's work.
It's really a collection which is full of surprises. This is why we also created this collection of posters called the Pearl of the Archives, because there's constantly one picture that comes out, or constantly a new information of famous pictures that makes look at that picture differently.
The man known as the Eye of the 20th century saw his influence stretch well into our century too, with a legacy that's preserved in these archives and that's also visible in contemporary photography around the world.
Well, Cartier-Bresson's work has influenced many photographers. Who for you is the eye of the 20th century?
Oh, nobody warned me about this question.
Putting you on the spot a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any eye particular. I think there's lots of photographers who I really admire. Diane Arbus, Francesca Woodman, Gary Winogrand.
The list is long.
The list is very long. Dorothea Lange, who's on show right now at the Jeu du Paume. So the list is long, yeah.
Okay.
These one singular sort of one-off, so I don't know if I can do those.
That's fair enough. Well, let's talk about your own eye. Your photos have a very cinematic quality with a real sort of 1950s melodrama vibe. How would you describe your photographic style?
The style, I don't know if there's I would say more the universe I would describe as I would use it maybe as like atemporal. So I'm trying to, because you did say 1950s, but actually if you look at the images, they're contemporary clothes, for example.
True.
Lots of clothes I just kind of got at thrift stores, cheap shops. They're locations that actually still exist, that they're still used, so I'm not shooting in a living museum, but people do get that vibe of a nostalgia sort of feeling from it. So I guess it's sort of, that's why I say atemporal, because I'm not actually mimicking any or trying to ape any certain epoch, but yet sometimes people always project a vision of the past onto my images, which is super interesting.
You've been behind the camera for editorial campaigns and fashion shoots. Your work appearing in GQ, Vogue Japan, Wallpaper Esquire. You've collaborated with luxury brands like Dior and Louis Vuitton. But you've also made some very striking self-portraits, and we were talking about that off air.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say when you appear as a cheerleader or a French maid or an air hostess or a mermaid? I love that photo.
I mean, there's no specific message when I'm doing this work. These series are obviously, they're kind of all linked. What it is usually is that I like to create my own universe. I have a lot of already these sort of imaginary realms inside my head,
right?
You know, unrolling, spooling around. So I create them use of, you know, the camera, the photography to create my own universe in real life, more or less, obviously via the camera. And then I project myself into these universes. So I like to be able to live there and to live parallel lives and to create an imaginary world that does not necessarily reflect the reality around us.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun dressing up in all of those outfits.
It's fun. It's a lot of work too. It's not like, you know, you're putting on a wig.
Here I am dressing up. Right. I understand. Well, before we go, we always ask our guests about a piece of art that's on their radar right now. Yours is the Marcel Duchamp Prize, an annual award given to an emerging young artist who then goes on to show their work at the Centre Pompidou, acting as a launch pad for their career. So, Kourtney, what's so special about the Marcel Duchamp Prize?
It's obviously showcasing French artists, putting that in the spotlight. I just really liked it this year. I just really enjoyed the work there. I'm already kind of a big fan of Clément Congitor and Mohamed Bourissa. So, you know, seeing their work plus the other two artists, I think it's Tout Ventren, if I'm not pronouncing her name wrong, and Marion Vignier, je crois. And so just, you know, seeing this basically kind of young artists and their work, and there's a lot of video art, and I thought it was really engaging and really interesting work to see. So.
Okay, well, we'll have to go and check it out. We'll leave you with some images from the 4 finalists for the Marcel Duchamp Prize. Once again, thank you to our guest, Kourtney Roy. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you check out her Go the Extra Mile series on display at Paris Foto at the Grand Palais until the 11th of November. For more arts and culture news, head to our website and stay in touch on social media. Keep it right here on France 24. Lots more coming up after this.
He reigned supreme over the Democratic Republic of Congo for 32 years. Marshal Mobutu was one of the most brutal autocrats of the 20th century. Yet, in Kinshasa, there is nostalgia in the air. And the town of Badolite, which was built for Mobutu and his entourage, remains a reminder for many Congolese of more prosperous times.
The Democratic Republic of Mobutu Sese Seko, this week on France 24.